God damn! Horrendous Golgothan Tongues off of their brand new album Idol, which is coming out this Friday. Freaking sweet Jesus, man! A goddamn mammoth of a song off of what is turning into a goddamn mammoth of an album. My God! Whew. That is death metal at its finest. Man, I knew there was a reason why I kept that horrendous poster on my wall. I know it wasn't just because I received it in a metalhead box and thought, you know, why not? I know it was because this is a band that was already getting buzz, a lot of underground buzz, mind you, that was going to find their way over the top. Now, the vocals, they take some getting used to. I even admit that. But here is how I somewhat think about it as I do some disposal right here. Do you remember the first time that you heard Death? Do you remember the first time that you heard Death, you heard Chuck's vocals, how they were kind of very different by comparison to some of the other death metal bands that were out there? You know, you listen to the vocals of, say, Trey from Morbid Angel, or, you know, you hear Cannibal Corpse or any of the other death metal bands of the time, even some of the grindcore noise of the late 1980s, first part of the 1990s, and you hear Death and you're like, wow, that's different. What about listening to Obituary for the first time and you hear how those vocals are extremely different? You hear, you know, you're so used to hearing, and then you have Obituary say, I don't care what you say, only much higher. For some reason my voice is not allowing me to do that. But, wow. Just an unreal song. Coming off of an album that's dropping this Friday, Idol by Horrendous, off of Season of Mist Records. Dude, I'm stoked. I'm excited. I thought I was going to be most excited about Anal Nakrath and Revocation. Trust me, I am. Trust me, those are two albums that I am still very much looking forward to, because guess what? I know that they are going to be good. But, let me tell you, every so often it's nice to have a little surprise. And Horrendous right here, I think, have released, as I've gotten a chance to listen to it, I think they've released their most focused effort to date. So, if you don't know about Horrendous, this might be a great time to check them out, get into them, scope out the album Idol, and then go backwards if you like. Whenever you go backwards, the stuff can get a little samey at times, but it is still pretty darn good. But anyway, do I say Anal Nakrath wrong on purpose? Probably. Probably not on purpose. Probably by complete accident. I didn't see Merlin, so I don't know the spell. I just do what I can. I just do what I can. Is it wrong to like Dia Black Sabbath more than Ozzy? Absolutely not. Vincent Smith, absolutely not a problem whatsoever. You can like whatever you want. That's the thing. That's the beauty of music. You can like whatever you want. Are people going to probably be like, yes, that's absolutely wrong. Ozzy was the original member of the band. He's the reason why metal is here. And if you don't like that, then you're not a real metalhead. But guess what? Those people need to remove the 5-foot stick up their very tight butt. So, there you go. Anal Nakrath is originally from the stories of the Knights of the Round and everything like that. It was a spell that was utilized, so you also saw it in the movie Merlin, which was a film adaptation that's not very well known or remembered. I think it's just called Merlin, or maybe it's called Excalibur. It's something of that variety. It was from the 80s, and it does get uttered within the film. Now, if I were to be a betting man, I would say Vitriol and the boys got it from the book, which the spell was in the book. It's no... Listen, are they going to come up with something that clever for a movie? Maybe. Doubt it. But maybe. So yeah, it is part of the book. It's part of the... it is part of the canon. So, yeah. Thanks for that incredible response, Vincent. I do what I can, my friend. It's true, though. It's true, though. Riff Notebook in, $2 for Hurricane by the band Thrice. Chiara Sonata's music comes in after that. Temperance, The Last Hope in a World of Hopes. A pair of pretty cool songs to start us off as we are riding the wave of momentum to try to make it to 666, which is our next incentive, and somebody winning a 1-month subscription to the Metalhead box. And hopefully the person who wins will come back to the stream. The Earth Will Shake by Thrice. Riff Notebook is going on a Thrice marathon, and I think it has something to do with the fact that you're seeing them now in, what is it, 3 days? 3 days? Yeah. So, how's everybody doing? It is darkening over here in the old state of PA. We are getting the last couple rounds of rain from the same storm system that has brought us rain now for the past, like, 7,000 years. At least that's what it feels like. It's actually been raining here since, God, Sunday? And now they're saying it's going to rain tomorrow as well, which is the first I heard of that. I thought that today was supposed to be the end of it, but I guess not. I guess now we're getting rain tomorrow too. Goody. Awesome. I like rain, but even I have to have moments where I'm just like, hey, look, there's stuff I would like to clean up from this bullshit. I would really appreciate it if I had the opportunity, and that best opportunity is whenever it's fucking dry. Found out why the stream got canceled on Monday, by the way. Finally got a response from Broadband, from Atlantic Broadband. Monday was an extremely windy, gnarly, just kind of horrific day. And I guess what had happened is that somebody did, in fact, have an accident. And that had affected a couple of lines. But there was also a station. This is actually, what's ironic about it is that the same thing happened a couple months ago. But there was a station where there was part of a tree that ended up falling on a line that they had just put up. Like, they had just literally replaced this line a couple of months ago, and they had to run out, and the line didn't snap, the line didn't break, but the weight of the limb was enough where, you know, it caused some issues. So, as a great example of how grids work, considering this is an outpost station that is right up the road from where I live, and it's kind of recessed. It's not on the main road because I live on the main road. But the grid that is associated with that area was experiencing roaming blackouts. Some folks were completely blacked out. That's me. Other folks were just experiencing like very wild fluctuations and resonance swings with everything. Meanwhile, if I was back at Studio 1.0, out in the original loft, I would have had internet that was working, but it would have been extremely slow. So, joy. But yeah, the wind has been a major problem. Oh, you say you can't hear it at all? Oh, I can see why. There you go. There you go. I'm now angry because Chelsea are losing. Now, hey! Speaking of winners and losers. Oh, that means you guys probably couldn't have even heard the horrendous track. God damn it. Well, that's my own fault. See, I keep two different levels. I keep a level for myself whenever I'm not streaming, and a level for whenever I am streaming. So if I don't move that, then, well, I'm a big old dumb shit. Most of your power lines are underground. Yeah, we still have the conventional, you know, they look like big giant trees. And whenever it comes to the internet and stuff like that, they don't go upward into the homes. They go from the line, from the power line, into the homes that way. in many cases. So, yeah, it's kind of a mess. It's kind of a mess, and I think the reason why they do that partially is because of the layout of our city, and also the layout of our geography. Our geography is kind of a weird mix between country and city. We're talking about the straw poll yesterday. It's actually still going on. That's the thing. The straw poll is still going on. If you have not voted in it yet, you can. I'm going to give this a couple more, I'll probably give this a couple more days. You know, at least today and tomorrow. So we'll probably have an announced winner on either Friday or Saturday. But right now, as of the moment, with 70 votes logged, the current leaders, we have Killswitch Engage currently in the lead with 20 votes. Catatonia and Meshuggah are tied for second with 13 votes apiece. So obviously that is something that we cannot stand. That tie is going to have to be broken. Machine Head is in third place, or fourth place, with 8 votes, tied with Insomnium, who also has 8 votes. Arion is in, I guess, 5th place, or 6th place, whatever you want to call it, with 6 votes, and Shining is bringing up the rear. They have 2 votes. So, like I said, I want to keep this going for a couple more days. I know that YouTube, or not YouTube, but Facebook doesn't exactly have a very good reach anymore. I mean, it's been bad for a while, but I guess from what I talked with one of the folks from the Metalhead box the other day, and I guess it's gotten worse because they, a business, are having even more trouble. So, you know, that makes you feel, you know, whenever you're a little guy like me who's just a YouTube channel that has his own page, you know, with a little following, that makes me feel great. The Last Hope in a World of Hopes by Temperance is up next. BTW. By the way, this is off of an album that is entitled Of Jupiter and Moons. It was released in 2018.
Do you believe in equality?
No, I don't. Yes, I do. I'm kidding. It's a South Park commercial. Hashtag cancel South. That's tonight. Oh, damn. I just realized that's tonight. Hell yeah. Well, that'd be pretty cool to watch. I can only vote once if it's 2 Rankamals, because Water Blanc, I don't have the option of making it where you can vote only twice. It's either you vote once, or you could have the opportunity to vote for everybody. And as much as I would love to subscribe to the honor system, folks, it has been proven in the past by some of the knuckleheads here that that is not something that can be followed. That is not something that can be followed. 3 Shades of Crimson, yo, what's going on? How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? Yeah, you have seen Temperance live in Italy. Nice. I don't know what it would take for them to come here, to be perfectly honest, to come to America. Probably getting picked up for Prague Power or something. Which, by the way, for those of you who are in America, the like 4 of you. Hi, Pogo Master. What's going on, man? Florian, how you doing? David, nice to see you. Those of you who are in America, and if you want to go to Prague Power 2019, tickets are going to be going on sale in early October. October the 6th, I believe the date is. There's only going to be 900 tickets available for the general public. And here is, I need to give you a, I need to give you guys a little run through of what the lineup is going to be for Prague Power 2019. I know some of you probably don't care. You probably hear Prague Power and just like, yeah. Prague Power only happens 45 minutes away from you. I hate you. I despise you. No, I don't. I love you, man. So here's the lineup for 2019's Prog Power, which is going to be insane. 4 bands per day. It's a 4-day festival. Days 1 and 2 are this. We have Iron Mask, Secret Sphere, who I didn't even realize Secret Sphere were still rolling. I figured that they probably had came back. You know, they did an album a couple of years ago, but I wasn't sure how that was going. Insomnium is going to be there. Pretty Maids, Tomorrow's Eve, which I actually believe I got a CD from. Mayan, or Mayan, M-A-Y-A-N, it's a multinational group. Galliernus, and then Evergrey. Evergrey is going to be capping off day 2. So, really, your first, your headliners for day 1 are going to be Insomnium and Pretty Maids. The headliners for day 2, at least from how I'm reading this, or how it looks, are going to be Galliernus and Evergrey. And then we get to days 3 and 4, which have 6 bands a day. 15-hour drive? Oh, I would fly that. How's Insomnium Prog? They could be considered dark progressive. Remember, it's Prog Power, and they do kind of stretch out the terminology a little bit. And consider Winter's Gate. But anyway, here's days 3 and 4. We have Windrose, who, there's a name I haven't heard in a little bit. Subsignal, who are excellent. Barren Earth, who's amazing. Psychotic Waltz, who's freaking back! And I didn't even know it. Hey, you know that band we listened to yesterday? Orden Ogan? You know? Orden Ogan? They're gonna be there. I almost want to see just what they would do for that single that we heard yesterday. Seventh Wonder, Sorcerer, Jag Panzer, who, by the way, I know Mark Brody from Jag Panzer. I've known him for like close to 20 years. Holy shit. Oh, by the way, Caligula's Horse. Caligula's Horse from Australia. I believe that they are one of the first Australian prog bands on the bill. Poets of the Fall. Those of you who enjoy Poets of the Fall, they're going to be there. Threshold. Threshold. And Iced Earth isn't going to be there this year, as they were here in 2018. Instead, Demons and Wizards. You want to talk about a fucking lineup. Oh. Why do the streams keep coming down? Because we are using very, very licensed music. They are using very licensed music, and YouTube doesn't like that. So really, whenever it comes to the streams, you're either here or there's a good chance you're not going to be able to see any of it. Which is unfortunate. Which is really unfortunate. The reason why you're able to watch VODs and stuff for other streams, mostly like video gaming streams, because don't have to worry about video game music. I know, weird, right? It's licensed music from artists. They keep getting claimed. They aren't copyright strikes, you know, so it's not something that goes against your channel. That's only if it's on like actual videos. But any sort of, you know, just like anything else, any sort of ad revenue that would have potentially been made from these streams, not anymore. The best way to make ad revenue on a stream for me would be if all 70,000 subscribers decided to all pop in and watch the ad before the stream and then hang out for like 5 seconds and leave. Actually, it would be worth more if they stuck around the whole entire time, but, you know, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You can't necessarily get everything that you want. Hey, the earth will shake. So the first Thrice song, we were talking about a hurricane, now we're talking about a damn earthquake. Thrice is all about the natural disasters. I'll tell you what band I would love to have been a part of that lineup that would have been an insta-sell for me, where I would like go out and sell a kidney to go down to Prague Power this year would be if Pain of Salvation was in this lineup this year. Because Pain of Salvation is known for amazing live shows that sometimes can be very unpredictable. For example, they did an acoustic, like a largely acoustic set that they then released on a DVD entitled 12/5, which was insane. And then, of course, you also have to remember that Daniel has been known for his contributions toward other projects, including one that I find to be amazing. I'm going to play the song for you next, I think. Do you need us to watch several 5-second streams with an ad? Is that where 70% of the donations go? No, not at all. 70% of the donations are not going toward getting me a Prague Tower. I'm not that selfish. I am not that selfish. I would listen. If I'm going to head down there and buy those tickets, I'll do that with my with anything I have residual on the side, which I don't think I'm going to make it this year. So it is what it is. The big problem that I run into is, first of all, I'm not too sure how much the tickets are for 2019. That information hasn't exactly been very well published. And then second of all, Atlanta is one of the few places where I don't really have some place where I could go and really cut a lot of like living expense costs, you know, like I'd have to get a hotel and all that stuff. Now see, I dated somebody from outside the Atlanta area way back in 2010. Some of you might remember me talking about this. Had that relationship worked out, which I'm very glad that it didn't, considering what she became, you know. The person that I know and the person who currently exists are like Jekyll and Hyde. Amazing what children will do to you. I would have had a place that I could have gone. Hell, I might have been living there. Who knows? Or, you know, would have been like a nice little return home for her. But that ain't gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Riff, are you telling me that if I come down there, your folks are just going to be like, yo, just suit up in the basement, you'll be fine. Coming is way more sane than Athens. Yeah, that's what I hear. I hear that Athens, something's in the water in Athens, I hear. And it's definitely got to be true, considering. You like Jekyll and Hyde by 5 Finger Death Punch. To each their own, my friend. I think by comparison to that situation, I would prefer Jekyll and Hyde by 5 Finger Death Punch. You know why? Because it's shorter than the lifespan of the traditional, typical human child. Because if I would have stuck with that relationship, that sort of eventually would have happened, no doubt, no doubt whatsoever. Yeah, I'd be doing 20. You know how people say I beg for money, and how I don't? Then I'd be begging for money. I'd be begging money to like either A, pay alimony, or you know, I'd be having a marathon stream so I could purchase a gun and shoot myself. Can't wait for High on Fire's new album, 3 Shades of Crimson, you and me both. You know, it obviously wasn't going to happen this year because Matt was working on the new Sleep album, which came out earlier, The Sciences, and that became the more important project, which is understandable, you know. It's understandable whenever you have a couple of great projects. And that album has done really, really well. It came as a surprise to a lot of people, and it was very solid. It was a very good album. It's fun to listen to. So I'm also very excited to see where High on Fire goes from here. I'm also excited to see if maybe this reactivates Sleep as a more permanent project, and maybe we can have both bands rolling concurrently. Why not, you know? I was mentioning Daniel Gillendow from Pain of Salvation. I'm actually very curious if I'm wondering if this is actually on here. It is. Oh, you know what? Because I've probably played this before. I have probably played this before. And if I haven't, I'll be very, very surprised. There is a metal band that did not, it unfortunately did not last very long. The band's name was Axamenta. That's A-X-A-M-E-N-T-A. They were more of a kind of a hard band to describe. They have a little bit of death metal, there's a little bit of tech in there, there's a little bit of prog. They were really a great example of hybrid metal. And that was way before I even would have imagined the term hybrid metal, because they had a little bit of everything to offer. They had a song, or an album entitled Ever Architecture, which is stylized as Ever Arch-I-Tech-Ture. So there's dashes everything, but whenever you read it, it's just Ever Architecture. And they had one song that featured Daniel Gildenlow from Pain of Salvation, entitled Threnody for an Endling. Now tell me, whenever you listen to this, it just sounds like this is the forgotten Pain of Salvation song. For those of you who know Pain of Salvation, just listen. Of Dust and Nations by Thrice will come on after this. Carnivore is back. That seems kind of, you know, hard to imagine. But if they're doing that in honor of Pete, then that's a great, great way to do it. Hey, with that donation from the Riff Notebook, we are now $98 away from somebody winning a 1-month subscription to the Metalhead Box. That's right. That's right, you've been winning basically a Metalhead Box for nothing. Be on my dime. Be on my dime. Can the Agonist count as hybrid metal? That'd be something where I would have to ask the Flood on that one. I would have to ask the Flood on that one, because I don't know. They do have moments, but I also don't want to get too friendly with the term, because if they do one thing on one song that is incredibly different, that really doesn't count as hybrid metal. It's just one track. His Bathory coming back as well. That'd be a little hard to do. That'd be a little hard for them to do. But yes, from the era that this came out, which, by the way, early 2000s. So we're talking Remedy Lane going into B era of Pain of Salvation. Consider the Perfect Element. Ugh. Like, this just has Daniel's, like, semen all over it. If I get to the donation that brings us over 666, I'm playing The Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden. I think that's fair. Notice me, senpai. What's up, Eli? How you doing? Did you know that Pain of Salvation formed in 1984? It wouldn't surprise me. That seems a little early, whenever you consider whenever their first album drops. I could believe that the original idea was between Daniel and his brother. So the first thought of it being in '84, not that shocking. Like old school, oh, Wolftooth, yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see that. Daniel was 11? Yeah. Yeah. Ironic, too, whenever you consider some of the lyrics to start off Remedy Lane, right? whenever you consider how Remedy Lane begins. Almost like perhaps it's based off a true story. A shy and blushing PayPal alert coming in from Maru. Why is it that you are shy and blushing? We will find out. Let me be the one by a fire. Let me be the one. I don't know. $3, thank you so much, Moira. I appreciate that. That rules. Shy moment, or is it a moment of confession? Total amount of the most people in a single stream that I've had, 471. We have hit triple digits once or twice. Largest I remember seeing is 140. That was a couple years ago. That's a couple years ago. Hey, I'll take it. I will take it. You know why? Because YouTube streaming is by no means anywhere near as popular, or I guess as sort of beloved, unless you're a gamer. And even if you're a gamer, it's not beloved whatsoever. Most people would rather be on Twitch. But, excuse me. So another thing to remember is that if you pick up this Axamenta record, Ever Architecture, and you listen, every other song is going to sound nothing like this. What did they request for 140? No, that was the number of people that were in here. Number of unique users that were in here at once. So, number of viewers. The largest donation that we've had in here was actually divided into a couple of sections and was $1,000. And that occurred around this time last year. That occurred around this time last year. So, there you go. The reason why it was broken up so it could clear out and finish up certain incentives that were at certain levels, but they were cleared up, and the individual who was generous enough to drop that donation, who, man oh man, well, it was a really special night. The individual who was lovely enough to do that wanted to ensure that a couple of different incentives got met. Of Dusted Nations by Thrice, we have a fire coming up after that. But I'm not necessarily, I am by no means discouraged by the fact that, you know, numbers and stuff like that, because like somebody said earlier, might not have 5,000 people in this chat, but folks that are in here are loyal. They are loyal. Ever heard of forced entry? I have, but I've heard that that is oftentimes very illegal. But forced entries, aren't they a like a heavy metal / thrash, like more of a thrash metal band? There doesn't need to be 5,000 people in this chat. I don't know if, I think the only way you're going to have that happen would be, I think there's a better chance of that happening if, like, it's my funeral. And there's just like someone's trying to cash in from it. They just have like a static camera that's, like, focused in on me in the casket. Everybody would join because they think that there's going to be a twist ending and, like, my eyes are going to open. I'll be like, haha, not dead, how you doing? Yep, that's what I thought. Thrash metal band. Forced entry. It does sound familiar. Like, I feel like I talked about a band very similar to them. Sebastian, I only think of the Leper song, which makes me think of Slave. Oh man. The reason why I know that was because back whenever I thought that I was going to be going on extended hiatus, I did a stream to talk about the decision I was making and everything like that, and that's actually when I first hit triple digits. I first hit triple digits on it, and back then I wasn't like accepting donations or anything like that. I was just hanging out. But it was pretty nice. It was a nice moment to know that like 1/70,000th or 1/7,000th of my fan base cares. It doesn't really matter. Do I have any video that I've regretted? In a way, talking about Head Walsh last year, calling him an idiot was, I think that was a little bit of a regret. I've not done much whenever it comes to news and like pieces like that ever since then. I kind of don't like stuff like that. But I was really kind of in the moment because of what he was saying about Chester Bennington and that death. It seemed really... It was like one of those moments where somebody didn't think before they spoke, and whenever you do that in front of a camera or in front of a microphone, there's a good chance that they're going to take that as gospel, and if your message is misinterpreted, then it's going to go bad. But yeah, that one's pretty hard. That was one that I probably regret a little bit recently. Aside from that, there's not many regrets. I regret giving the Astonishing a 90 in the actual album review, but aside from that, I don't regret the video. Alright, Paradise. Glad I'm not retired? Well, I mean, I kind of, like, I'm in a weird, like, state of free agency. I'm like a... I guess you'd say I'm like a free agent. What is it that they call, like I'm freelancing? I don't know. I'm roaming around doing my own things. You know, some of my oldest videos are probably, I probably couldn't even watch them. From all the way back in the day. And definitely some of the videos that I posted way back in, like, 2008, like early 2009 would probably be borderline unwatchable to me. I don't like watching a lot of my own stuff. A couple years ago, that was very different. A couple years ago, I could watch just about any video of mine, and it would be a pleasant memory. Either that, or I was sitting down and trying to learn from those videos to try and study to see how I could be better. Now, these days, it's kind of like, you know, you can't necessarily 100% live in the past. But you can definitely tell your following, please explore the 2,000 plus videos that are available in the CKN library. I'm sure you'll find something else that you will love and want to watch again and again and again. You know, go into one of the years that has all the album reviews in there. Bam, watch all those. Have fun. I would say if I would recommend a series to watch to anybody out there, of course, those of you in the chat have probably seen some of these episodes. The 5 recently released series from 2016. I know that it's not 2018. These albums aren't new anymore. In fact, they're 2 years old. But that's a great series to watch if you want to learn of bands and have a place to start, or just hear about a lot of different groups. That's the place to go. That's where to go. You know, 2016 was the year that I listened to the most albums that I ever have in 1 year. There's no way I'm going to be able to top it, because after doing all of that, whew, I was a tired boy. I was very much burnt. I was very much burnt to a crisp. Let Me Be the One by A Fire is up next. This was recommended and requested by Maru, which we are thankful for. And they'll be here after this M&M's. They stole his M&M's caramel. That's a thievery. That's a crime. Crimes are bad. Grip Notebook Rudy X3 by the Tony Danza Tap Dancing Extravaganza. Ga. What is the video of mine that has the most dislikes? Wow. I would say probably 5 reasons people hate Slayer. That'd be my guess. I actually don't know. I actually do not know. Retrospective thoughts on the Book of Souls. It's still an amazing album. It's still an absolutely amazing album. What video do I hate the most? Oh man. I did a thing back in the day, whenever the channel first got started. I tried to get artsy, Florian. I tried to get artsy. Promise of Deceit by Catatonia, $2 more from the Riff Notebook. Thanks very much. Wants to hear some Catatonia. Wants you to vote for Catatonia in the straw poll. You might be like, hey, what straw poll? What the hell are you talking about? Well, that's not it. That's not what I'm looking for at all. The video I probably hate is, I did a series called Heavy Metal, which was MEDDLE. So I was examining metal from Pink Floyd. I examined an album from Knockmistium, which was in the Addicts series that they did. They had 2 albums with those in that series, and then I examined Through Silver and Blood by Neurosis. And I didn't so much do an album review so much as I did a short, like a really, really boring and horrible, like short little film that had some of the music in the background, so it's probably copyright, you know. And then talked about the album a little bit after that. It was not a really good, video. It was not a really good video. So, you know, it's what it is. It is what it is. Can't really do much about that in the future, so. But yeah, you know, what are you gonna do? It was a new idea. It was something I tried. The same way as whenever I tried to do the whole decapitation sequence for the Atreyu review I did. It is very clear from the cut that I stopped the blade before it hits my neck. I mean, it's obvious. I didn't cut that nearly good enough. Like, that needed to fade the black in that moment. But it didn't. So, you know, it is what it is. Riff Notebook, probably whenever it comes to album reviews. But, I don't mind. I don't mind. The thing is that I can't sit here and have too many regrets about the stuff that I've done and the stuff that I've said. You know what I mean? You can't sit here and want to backpedal on everything that you do. You know? I noticed that I was getting known for those, I was getting known for my tribute videos, and that was kind of it was taking away from the other material and everything like that. And there was no winning with those. There was no winning with those. Either, oh, there's no way that you could have loved all these people that much and respected them all that much, then on the flip side, they would complain, well, why didn't you do one for this person? Why didn't you do one for this? It was easier just to end that and just not do that anymore. Delete all the old videos, you know. Because if I didn't take that course of action, I would still be getting requests for stuff like that to this day. You know, it's better off that it looks like that they never existed. I know some of you were attached to some of those videos, and I'm thankful for that. But, you know. Was I a bit too harsh? Or was I just giving my opinion? Remember that there is a difference between the two. You know? There is a difference between those two. And if it's of your opinion that I was harsh, then I am, you know, listen, we just agree to disagree. That's fine by me. Like Riff said, you know, I still have respect for you. I still have respect for Trivium. I still have respect for those albums. It's just, I didn't like them. That's all it is. Predicted track titles and song lengths. Nah, I'd rather not see that. I'd rather not. I'm actually going to leave a counter for Let Me Be the One by a Fire. I'm actually going to keep it going. Maybe not. Wait, what? Really? Somebody literally played the song for their wedding. Nice. Cool Pain of Salvation song right here. This heart of mine I pledge. I love how I just run with themes.
My crew is amazing.
Like this is obviously like a Pain of Salvation day. You think Shogun isn't dragging on? I do. Yeah. That album, for me at least, became a slog during its second half. Onskampt? Not familiar. I'm not familiar with it, Eli. It's all good. Listen, you know, if we disagree on certain things, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. We're not going to have perfect profiles, you know. This isn't like Match.com and we're like 100% match, and now we're having that first fight and we're like, oh my god, but the science of Match.com didn't tell me that was going to happen. You know, we're human, man. It's all good. It's all good. You can be, you can feel that I was wrong about that. Hey man, I'm a man. I can take that. I'm wrong about a lot of stuff. You ever heard me try to pronounce words? You know? You're more lenient with In Flames than most. I feel like I can be a little bit stingy with them, and it's only because whenever you see and hear what they can do, and you see them sort of sell out that idea to do something a lot simpler and quite frankly, quite lazier, it is a little hard to accept as a fan. But it's also something where some of the harshness is the fact that it's been 15 years or so. It should be, look at what it is for what it is, and this is who they are now. But even then, even whenever you take all that away and consider In Flames as this new entity that started with like Reroute to Remain or something like that, they're still releasing material that's not that thrilling. Like, they're still releasing very mediocre music. So even if you completely release the first part of their career away from them, you know, consider that as era 1, and this is era 2, which is the current era of In Flames. What really is their masterpiece? Soundtrack for Your Escape? Is that saying much? Is that honestly saying much? Especially whenever their peers, you know, Dark Tranquillities, Soilwork, etc., are releasing albums that have a lot more oomph and girth to them. I mean, honest to God opinion right there. Honest to God material, or opinion right there. And pretty good question, I would say. Like, I'll pose this question to all of you in chat. Post Reroute to Remain, so we're going to include Reroute to Remain in here. What's the best In Flames album? What's the best In Flames album after Reroute to Remain, including that album as well? Mr. Poison Bee? That's cool. That's cool if you like those. I don't understand why people hate Reroute to Remain. It has a little commercial twinge to it, which shouldn't be the only point of contention. Whenever Reroute to Remain came out, I wanted it almost instantly. You know? Reroute to Remain is not that far removed from Clayman. The only difference is that Clayman had a little bit more of the keys in there. The mix was a little bit different. That's about it. They're kind of similar in scope. Clayman and Colony are, like, first of all, Colony is an album that should have told us that, very similar to what Watershed was for Opeth. Watershed by Opeth told us that a change was coming with this band. And then, of course, we got that, and we're in the era of, you know, prog rock Opeth right now. But Colony and Clayman should have told us that there was a change coming to In Flames. More so, amazingly more so Colony than Clayman. Because between the two, I find Colony to be the weaker album. I would put Colony below Clayman, 100%. That's just between you and I. Rudy X3 by the Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza. I can guarantee you that if we run out of Q, I'll probably go back to Pain of Salvation. I'm just in a pain mood today. I'm just in a Pain of Salvation mood. Even though we started off with Horrendous, which that was awesome. That was amazing. Play one song that involves Daniel, and I just immediately want to listen to Pain of Salvation for like 5 hours. Come Clarity is probably the best in the era. There was an old troll. There was a troll that said that the new Tool album was going to be a double album. But that's been since 2016 that rumor was live. Or was it last year? Colony and Clayman kind of tell the change is coming? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, you go from Horacle and the Jester Race into Colony. Colony is a changeover from Horacle. It really, you can see the band trending in this direction. The whole, like, it just goes like that, and I should do that the other way. Like, it just goes like that. Because they rose up with Black Ash Inheritance, right into the Jester Race, into Horacle, and then Colony. Like, Colony isn't necessarily their peak. They were close, actually. Like, I would say Horacle is probably their peak. But their sound is already starting to get a little bit more well-defined. It's starting to sound a little bit cleaner. You know, it's starting to be really a little bit more commercialized, I guess, or just sounds a lot better. The production is getting a lot better. So you get that with Horacle. Colony, that gets more polished. The songwriting becomes a little bit more crisp, a little bit more concise. You're no longer getting those elongated tracks that feel like the band is trying to experiment or dabble too much. The songwriting has started to simplify. Clayman, same deal, only while the songwriting has simplified, the songs themselves really take a break and become a little bit intricate, while still becoming very hyper-focused and kind of easy to listen to. You know, they're pretty accessible tracks as far as melodic death metal is concerned. That continues with Reroute to Remain, and as you go forward, you see that they just sort of have remained static with very few fluctuations. And I think that's more so what... I think that's what kind of pisses off a lot of people. I think what pisses off a lot of folks is that they have been in a holding pattern, and whenever they've gone outside of that holding pattern, it's either felt forced or the expectations of some fans are completely unreasonable. I'll just say it. The expectations of some fans, whenever it comes to some bands, In Flames being sadly associated as one of them, is absurd. They're unachievable. The band could literally do the exact same writing. They could do the exact same writing from the Jester Race and the Horacle era. Like, they could literally unearth a secret formula. Like, they could go back and watch old, you know, cassette tapes of what they were doing during those sessions. Repeat that, you know, replicate that perfectly. Write an album that is equally as good as the Jester Race and Horacle, and I can guarantee you that there'd be a part of the so-called fan base that would still shit all over it. Of course, there would be the part that would say, well, why aren't you releasing an album similar to, like you said, maybe like a Come Clarity, or, you know, Soundtrack to Your Escape, Sounds of a Playground Fading, whatever. You know, whatever is their favorite album, you know, they want that sound. You know, that's kind of the problem that you get into whenever your sound kind of tweaks and morphs a little bit, is that you'll have some fans that say, well, I can't listen to you anymore because your music doesn't sound like this. This is my favorite album from you guys. Am I guilty of that too? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I would love to hear an album that has a lot of reminiscence to the Jester Race and Horacle from In Flames. It's just not going to happen. It's not who they are anymore. You know, it's just not who they are anymore. That's why whenever we talked about their last album, I tried to start off that video by essentially saying, listen, you have to, with some bands that have had this happen, you know, where this has become who they are, you kind of have to look at them as a reviewer, you know, as a reviewer, you have to look at them through that glass lens of, yo, this is the band now. This is who they are now. Promise of Deceit from Catatonia. And then after that, we will have some Trivium that just came in. Pillar of Serpents. Trivium is a band that I think did one of the best things that they did was they combined a little bit of something from all of their different eras on their last album. And it made it really, really fun. You know, they somehow... I shouldn't say they somehow did this. They made it where it was a little bit off-balanced, but it was completely... Like, it wasn't a complete train wreck. It worked. It fit. They made it fit. They made it fit. So, if you're more of a fan of their first couple of albums, you heard that sound in there. You hear that more direct approach. If you were a fan of some of their latter era stuff, you heard that in there. If you were a fan of, you know, the middle portion with like stuff like Shogun and, you know, the like, then you got that too. They made a really smart decision with that album. And I think that's the reason why it was as good as it was. But I'll tell you what band really made, I would say, one of the bolder decisions of the last couple of years. Skullfist with Get Fisted by Killian Hackenschmidt. What a name! I love it. I love it. Here's the thing. Mutter also coming in with 5. And what are we going to hear with that 5? We are not going to hear anything until I correctly type in my password, apparently. Let's try that one more time. I've had a lot of dropped inputs on this phone lately. Children of Frost by Indica. Very nice. Very nice. Guess what? I don't know. What? You may call me Mark if you wish. It is fine. I think that's a little too low. Oh, no, you know what's too low? My headphones are. This is off of Night is the New Day. But the band that I thought had the one of the bolder experiments that worked out in their favor the past couple of years, I have to admit it, Avenged Sevenfold at the stage. Great album. Oh, I found it. Yes, I did. Whoa! Shogun by Trivium, the title track. Sorry, Mark, it was the 10th anniversary yesterday, and I'm seeing them live in 8 days as well. No need to apologize, Riff. Thanks for the 10, dude. I appreciate that. We need to apply the CA 250. Which, don't look that up. Don't look that up just on your phone. They'll think that you want, I think you'll want Chatterbait. Whoa. That makes me sad. That makes me really, really sad. And uncomfortable at the same time. But yes, thank you so much, Riff. That's a huge, huge appreciation. There's a big time delay here. That's because my FPS is like super non-existent. That'll get better in a second once I get this taken care of. Oh. Well, hey man, I appreciate that. Thank you very much, dude. I'll tell you what's probably more reasonable. That the new Tool album will have 71 tracks, and each of them will be 7 minutes long. The whole entire album is going to be 490 minutes. So it's going to be like a 7-disc album. So are we going to be listening to Pornhub audio? Nah. Not this time. Maybe later. Gotta confirm everybody is 18 plus. I don't know why. Isn't Chatterbait C-H-A? Not C-A? I don't know. Everybody has their names all fancily spelled these days. Like, they're using initials. They're not using vowels. How the heck is that even spelled? The new album is actually 10,000 days long. Disc 1, Overabundance. Disc 2, Overabundance Part 2. New album was actually produced by Buckethead. Pillar of Serpents from Trivium up next. Nice, nice. It's a nice, nice. Hurrah. This is a bonus track from the Sin in the Sentence. Excuse me. It's been 1 week since it actually. No, it couldn't be 10,000 days. 10,000 days would have to be a 30-year wait. So if Tool releases this album in like 2039, then you'll know what the joke was. What's this version? What, a Pillar of Serpents? What in the world? What in the world indeed? Wow. That was weird. Yeah, that was a bonus track from the Sin in the Sentence. Odd. That's not what we wanted. I even said that like it was right. Damn. That's what happens whenever you're just sitting here playing tunes. There we go. Yeah, it is different than the original from what it sounded like. Most definitely. That is definitely a huge difference. Sound, it looks like it was, it sounds like it was affected by the Sound Wars a lot more. You know what I mean? That was definitely Sound War infused. Yeah, but we want the original, man. We want to go all the way back. We want to go all the way back. We want Ember to Inferno era. All right, I'm gonna take something here and I'm gonna run with it. So, 10,000 Days came out in 2006. 10,000 Days is 27.39 calendar years. So, you're gonna be waiting for a while. 2033 is whenever this album's coming out. All right. We'll have a new Tool album in 15 years. What's the Loudness War? The Loudness War is something that happened in heavy metal in production, which aimed to try to make albums sound as loud as possible. So the production value of a lot of bands went up, so everything was a lot more crisp, but along with that, the volume was amplified in order to make it sound a lot more in-your-face and loud. So essentially, it's something that comes with modern production techniques, which modern production right now can be handled by, well, just about anybody. If you're patient enough to sit back and learn how to use production tools like Pro Tools and the like, you can become a producer for bands in your local area. I mean, are you necessarily going to be the next Bob Rock or, you know, Jason Sukoff or something like that? Nope. You're still exhausted. Oh, you went to a mall this morning and walked around. Maru is a mall walker. I like it. I have been guilty of doing the same. I was especially guilty of it whenever, a couple years back, I was given some braces for my knees, and I was told that I absolutely needed to walk around and do stuff like that. Which, of course, I was working at the music store, so I was doing that naturally on days I was working. But on days off, I was usually static, I didn't move, I didn't do shit. So I started walking up the mall. That didn't last very long, mind you, because I kept running into people I didn't want to see. You know, I was forced to see them whenever I was at work. See you later, Florian. Or no, you're staying here, Florian. Pogo, I'll see you later, man. I'll tell you what, I will be surprised if our mall lasts another 5 years. $2.30 US from Killian. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, dude. Wants to hear a little bit of tunage from Ex Mortis. Wants to hear Into the Maw of Hell. Yeah, I noticed that after I had said goodbye to you, Florian, which now I feel really silly, which is funny. You know what? It was that dark outside, and I don't think it rained a single drop, which is good because I just went out and fed the outside cat before I came on the stream. So that means that he's dry, and his food didn't get all moist and gnarly. Yeah. There you go. There you go. No, it's not. Single Parents is not the funniest new sitcom of the fall. That's impossible. On modern networks, nothing's funny. Skullfist with Get Fisted is up next. This one was from our good friend Killian Hackenschmidt. Love that name. That name sounds so dreadfully Canadian/American. Like the Hackenschmidt part, I could totally see in like the upper northwest of America, or even up by like Minnesota. And then Killian is just straight up Viking. Makes me think of Killian Dane. Oh, what a man. Now it's time to get off to some fisting. That's right. What's the funniest new sitcom of the fall, C-Can? This stream. The Beast from Belfast! Yes! Now see, I knew. Also, that scream was... Oh. That scream made my pee-pee hard. Snowbaz! What's going on, man? I would say if you want a funny new sitcom this fall, probably the only one that's actually funny to like 5 people is Young Sheldon. Aside from that, I don't think major networks know what comedy is, or couldn't know what comedy was if they had a clown smack them in the balls. Because let's be real, major networks are all about not pushing the envelope because they don't want bad press. So you're not going to get anything that's actually like halfway funny. Am I excited for the new In the Woods album coming out in November? Oh god, yes. You remember whenever he was Big Damo? Oh my god, dude. We're talking old school. Like just a couple years ago, but still, it feels like an eternity ago. It feels like an eternity ago. Heck, whenever he got signed by WWE, I remember I was watching a What Culture update that said that Big Damo was heading to WWE. I was like, oh, really? Holy crap. Like, he has the look that they want. He really does. And he's going... Whenever they finally decide to give Killian the singles run, there's no way that he's going to be lost in the shuffle. He's got too much talent. You paid him like $5 to shop you? Dude, totally worth it. Because I bet you had that welt for a couple days. Paradise. What up, dude? All about trying to make things people won't turn off. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I wouldn't buy that. I don't buy that one bit. I would maybe flip-flop that. Feeling better? There you go. There you go. Shane Korn says, sounds like the Four Horsemen. Kinda. Yeah, you're kinda right. But then again, I'm sure these guys are kinda influenced by Metallica. Yeah. By the way, I simply have fun. That's all I does. That! Didn't realize people like Killswitch Engage so much. I really need to reply to Andy and say, get in the stream, you freaking scrub. There's no way I will ever be able to go that high. That there might not be any way I could ever get that high. Indica. Children of Frost. And no, this is not Indica Badu. Who I'm assuming is like Erykah Badu's sister, cousin, someone who's just stole the last name to try to, you know, cash in. Children of Frost from Indica. This is off an album entitled Away, Away. This is older. And one of the first comments that I read on this video is, I really need to go to Finland. 70% of the music I listen to is Finnish. There you go. You thought of Thundersteel? Not a bad comparison either. Not a very bad comparison whatsoever. Shell Shark. Finnish residents here. You guys have a lot of different scenes up there that do not get nearly enough love. Let's take a look, actually. Whoa, oh god. My mouse is just freaking out there for a second. That was awesome. Hey, if you're new, if you haven't been in chats for a couple of minutes, vote in that straw poll right there. Yeah, come my lady, come my lady, you're my butterfly, sugar baby. They're one and only claim for fame. Or claim to fame. You know, they're kind of like My Darkest Days, where all they have is porn star dancing, and the other singles nobody remembers, nor do they want to. Oh, excuse me. Same is somewhat true for Buck Cherry. But it's all dependent upon which single. 95% of the world will remember, hey, you're a crazy bitch, but you fuck so good I'm okay with it, or whatever the lyrics are. You know what song from them I remember and actually like? Lit Up. Because I love the cocaine. I love the cocaine. I've seen Buck Cherry live. Let me tell you how people react whenever Buck Cherry is on stage. Very, very large, unappealing looking females get naked and crowd surf. And God, do I wish that that was just a story I'm making up. It's not. It's not. Crazy Town had another hit called Drowning. Whoa. Shane Corn, you just hit me with some facts that I actually didn't know. 250 from Killian. Wants to hear Violence and Force from Exciter. I need to recall what the translation was. It's 192. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, Killian. Not as big as Butterfly. Understandable. Was that off the same release chain? I never owned that album. Butterfly kind of like blocked out the sun whenever it came to anything that had to do with Crazy Town. If you know what I mean. Deftones haven't aged well? Oh, I'm gonna have to completely disagree with that. I'm gonna have to disagree. Has their older stuff is a little edgier. Like if we're going all the way back to tracks like Engine Number 9, that I can agree with. That song has not aged very nicely. Time has not been good to most of Adrenaline. Time really has not been kind to most of Adrenaline. But a good portion of Around the Fur has aged pretty nicely. Couple tracks are really... I think where some of the age and the rust starts to show is that some of those songs feel like a snapshot of an era that's almost 20 years ago. So it's almost like it being the 1990s and you're listening to disco, you know. Obviously disco didn't age very well because disco doesn't happen anymore. Disco don't exist no more. But the difference being is that disco is still like, choice songs from disco are still somewhat fun to listen to, especially the stuff in the Bee Gees discography of that era. You know, Saturday Night Fever is still a great album. Whenever especially after you remove the fact that disco was like a thing, that was in discotheques and everything, and then there was Disco Demolition Night at Comiskey Park, where people were so tired of disco they like destroyed stuff on a baseball field and rioted in what could be considered one of the most one of the blackest eyes on sports promotions in history. That's the Deftones album, Reed. Saturday Night Fever is an album that was released in the 1970s for the John Travolta music, for the John Travolta movie. It is considered to be the most influential, or basically one of the biggest albums of all time, and it was primarily of the disco genre of music, which, yes, disco is a genre of music. Not all genres are meant to last. Disco is kind of one of them. You do get some remnants, or you do get some elements of disco funk on some modern albums. A great example of that being, you get that a bit on Random Access Memories from Daft Punk, especially with tracks like Get Lucky. Get Lucky has a little bit of that disco funk thrust in there. Like, I could easily hear Get Lucky in... obviously, it's not going to sound as good. It's not going to sound as good. Like, I could hear a 1976 version of Get Lucky being produced. And you could have some of the ideas of that era, and it would be... well, it would be a song. I'm not exactly sure if it'd be a good song, but it would certainly be music that has been recorded for people to listen to.
I've been told I'm pesky and annoying, but hey, who listens to their mom, right?
Smallfoot in theaters.
I'm not gonna lie, that actually somewhat looks like it could be decent. Like, if I had kids, I'd probably be forced to see that film, and I probably wouldn't mind. But that's just me. I don't have kids, so I don't have to worry about that. So now, if I want to watch that, it has to be a dedicated choice. Hey, we take a look at the Rank 'em All, the straw poll right now. Two of the bands, the two top vote getters, are going to get Rank 'em All videos as per the $500 incentive that we hit yesterday. Right now, in the lead with 22 votes, we have Killswitch Engage. Second place is Catatonia with 15. Meshuggah is 1 vote behind with 14 votes, so it's on the outside looking in. Insomnium has 10 votes, is in 4th place. Machine Head, 5th place with 9 votes. Adrian is in 6th place with 7 votes. And Shining, still bringing up the rear, just 2 votes in last place. That Daft Punk has got awful, eat me. Maybe I should play some Daft Punk next. Yeah. Thanks to everybody who has donated so far today. We're about halfway through the stream. I am probably going to be taking a break shortly. I don't think we're going to be going as long as we did yesterday. I can almost guarantee that. That was a bit unexpected. It was still very, very nice. I thank you all for the support. But we will see. We will see. Has an album ever made me cringe? The first time I heard Alid the Video Insanus from Morbid Angel, I was like, oh god, what are they doing? Why? What's going on? F.U. Frequency Unknown by Jeff Tate's version of Queensryche. It was like I was listening to Jeff just take the Queensryche name, which was already like taking a freaking shit kicking, and just decided, oh, okay, you've taken a shit kick. Best way I could put it, Killian. Johnny Gargano, and Johnny Gargano is in a tag team with Tommaso Ciampa. Let's say that the turn, how they actually did the turn for Ciampa, was that Gargano would get his ass kicked, he would tag in Ciampa, he would get the hot tag, he would take one move or do like one move's worth of offense, and then tag Gargano back in. Gargano promptly starts to get his ass kicked again. Goes for the tag on Ciampa. Ciampa steps off the apron, and just yells, "You got it, bro! You got it!" Solidifying him as a heel who actually doesn't have Gargano's best interest in mind. That's kind of what Jeff Tate was doing to Queensryche, and FU was... I have never heard an album be more of a representation of internal politics and internal feeling, you know, within a band. That wasn't for us. That wasn't for the people at all. It really wasn't. The number one listener that he wanted for that album was the rest of the members of Queensryche. So that made me cringe like crazy, my friend. I think that's the only time I will ever be able to use that kind of that kind of description for a metal album. I think that is the only time I will ever be able to do that. So that's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. You can tell I'm a bit of a wrestling fan. I'm comparing band politics to fictional storylines. Hey. You like what you like, you make comparisons to what you can, and you know, some people won't understand it, other folks will love the piss out of it, you know? That's how it goes. That's how it goes. Even Paul Postrat says it's Jeff Tate's studio. Well, I mean, it essentially is. I don't even know if the band that he had was the same band that ended up as Operation Mindcrime. Hey, what's going on, Metal Fury? How you going, my friend? My favorite timeline in the WWE, probably the Attitude Era, as most people will probably say. Attitude Era going into Ruthless Aggression was a pretty cool time. The only thing that I'm disappointed about within that timeline is the fact that they had so many options and so many cool things that they could have done, and they kind of ran out of ideas and creativity. Either that, or they... Like, some weeks it felt like they were throwing spaghetti on the wall to see what stuck. Other weeks it felt like they just gave up. Whereas on SmackDown with Paul Heyman, everything felt really concise. Like, there's really good storytelling on SmackDown whenever Paul was in charge over there. You know, we had... I send you something sweet. I send you something sweet back. What the hell is going on? Oh, there, it did. I love delay. I love delay. Dance Panic by Tiramon Kalatod. How about some modern disco techno? $3? Hell yeah! Yeah, we could do that. I like that idea. Thank you very much, Maru. Appreciate it. Tis sweet indeed. Tis sweet indeed. Surprisingly enough, whenever I saw Panek, I almost read it Palenk. I almost read it Palenk, very much like the old god / goddess. Now listen, I'm not saying that the Ruthless Aggression era was devoid of its great moments, but I'm saying that overall as a show, it was kind of a mess. But would I take that over the modern era? I probably would. I probably would. This whole thing that they're doing with the Shield right now, I'm surprised that people actually took to the Braun Strowman heel turn. I'm very surprised at that, because in reality, I don't think Braun really did anything heel to provoke the Shield coming out. Like, I think that they wet the bed on that way before they should have. They kind of wet the bed way before they should have on that. Loads of RA stars that were left. Absolutely. Yeah, the shameful thing about Ruthless Aggression was the fact that some of the same people that had gotten over the past 10 to 15 years were still the ones that they were putting in the spots where you could get over, where somebody could get over, you know? And they kind of conditioned their fan base to care about those people. And a lot of that was handled based around politics and internal shit. Do you think it's safe to say you like a band but you only know one album from them? Yeah, I think you can do that. If the one album that you listen to you enjoy, then you definitely like a band. You definitely like that band. Your opinion might change after you listen to the other material. But it's not like you can... It's not like if you listen to one album from a band and somebody says, hey, what do you think about this band? What are you going to say? Oh, I only know one album from them, so I can't say anything. If you like that album, you say, yeah, I like them. I like what I heard off of this album. I need to go back into their other, their older discography. I'm not extremely familiar, but from what I've heard, I like. Pretty simple. And if they call you out on something like that, tell them to go fuck themselves or something. I don't know. Oh god, I didn't even remember Bam Neely. Good lord. You know who kind of got the shit end of the stick? Shit. Who was... Really both times that every single time that he has been there, Luke Gallows has gotten just the shitty end of the stick. I mean, whenever you're Festus, and then they team you up with CM Punk in an idea that they obviously don't want to get over that well, but then CM Punk just makes it get over, and then you treat him like a joke. Listen, if I'm Anderson and Gallows right now, I'm happy I'm getting paid, but my legacy feels tarnished. But that legacy feels tarnished. Like, if they decided to go back to New Japan tomorrow, they would immediately be right in the thick of things whenever it came to the tag team division. Oh, the Straight Edge Society was a fantastic group, but I'll tell you who the real workhorse of that group getting them over was Punk with his mouth, and then whenever it came to the pure, the skill in the ring, just about everybody in that group had skill. Serena had skill, Gallows had skill, Punk obviously had skill, and so did Jamie Noble, whenever he was in there for a short spell. I feel like there was one other gentleman that was in there too, who was brought in as an enforcer, Dave something. Mason Ryan. There we go. Mason Ryan had an upside. He was just really, really stiff in the ring. Bullet Club Firing Squad? Oh, man. Oh, Joey Mercury. You're right. It wasn't Jamie Noble. I still remember whenever Jamie Noble was in that, he was in that relationship with that, that white trash, trailer park relationship with the one winner from Tough Enough way back in the day, or the Diva Search, or whatever the hell she was. What the hell was her name, even? I remember that being super cringy. I remember that being super duper cringy. Nydia, that's right. Man, I love you guys. You guys know more than I do whenever it comes to some of this stuff. That album reviewer guy, I know you're on Instagram. Do you know the Unstable Nerd? I tell you who could probably outpace me and outpace all of us whenever it came to the Fed knowledge. That would be that guy. Hard to believe Jamie Noble was once Ring of Honor champion. I agree. That seems like so long ago. Seems like so long ago. It's really hard to believe that Low Key is still as young as he is and has been in the business for as long as he is. See you later, Sebastian. You have yourself a good night, man. I appreciate that you were here. Matt Morgan. Oh boy. You know, you guys obviously remember Brutus Magnus. Snowbacks, I'll talk to you later, man. Thanks for stopping out. I mean, you guys know Brutus Magnus. You know what he's doing now, obviously. I would hope some of you guys know. You know, he just lost something really, really important. Yeah. What the hell? I hate ads. God. Ex Mortis into the maw of hell off of the Sound of Steel. Yep, Nick Aldis. Man just lost the NWA Championship. Mark Haskins just did a couple of matchups over in Ring of Honor during their tour of England. I really thought that he was going to get picked up by Ring of Honor after that. Listen, I like him. I think he does some great work. I think he does some killer work. Alright, Rip Bookie, have yourself a good one, brother. Take care, man. Thanks for stopping by. I know that we're like super into wrestling discussion right now. That's just... Why do I know so much about so much? It's dumb. Uh-oh. Catatonia, by the way, has slipped into third place. Meshuggah now has the second place tally. And during all of this, by the way, Killswitch has not gained any votes. So it is possible that as time goes on, the hierarchy could really change. Might be turning into an owl. Nice. I woke up, and I hate to confess this. I woke up at like 1 in the afternoon today. I was waiting for Riff to leave this hit. No, I just took a look. I just happened to take a look. But anyhow, I woke up at 1 this afternoon, so I've only been up for like 4 hours. And I am not proud of that. I wanted to be up at, or I was actually getting up at like 9:30 this morning. But I happened to lay back down after I had to clean up a hairball from Nemo, who finally got part of the hairball out. But he's still hacking a little bit, so that means there's more to it. There's probably more in there. So after I did that, I just kind of laid... I was laying on the couch and just fell asleep until 1. See, you guys wake up around the time that I traditionally fall asleep. I'm up late. I'm up late. Sometimes I work on projects, other times it's just to unwind and relax a little bit. And then, of course, the nights where I'm having high pain nights, I'm not a happy camper to be up that late. Early bird knocks on your window every morning. I have a chatty cat who's finally back to his normal self in mittens, who between the hours of 8 and 9 is being very mouthy for food. Yeah. I'm lucky. I don't feel that way. Honestly. I feel like if my sleep schedule was a little bit better, if I woke up at, say, 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock every morning, I would get a lot more done. I would get a lot more done. But I like aspects about the deep night a lot. Like, almost too much to force that change. I do enjoy kind of the solitude of the late night. And whenever I meet somebody who's very much like me in that regard, you know, where we can basically talk all night, or whenever I find something that I'm really deep into, where I want to watch it deep into the night, I feel great, you know, it's a great feeling. So it kind of goes back into the whole, do what you can to feel good, even whenever physically you're feeling like shit. Exciter with Violence and Force will be the first track that we get into after the break. We are going to take a short little break, do a super late night stream sometime. Celtic Girl, I would love to, however, there are other people that live here. So unfortunately, that would not be a very feasible thing for me to do without potentially waking them up. I could maybe ask and see if that is a possibility. You know, I wonder if that's something, you know, for the amount of times that I've gone out and found that Faith has been napping throughout my streams. It makes me curious as to whether or not I could pull off a late night stream without any sort of difficulty. And my wonder is, of course, how many people would show up, you know? Nobody from America, I can tell you that. Because I'm like the one night owl. Anyway, we're going to take a quick little break. And then after we return, we will have Exciter with Violence and Force. We will have Dance Panic by Turman Kalatat. And we also will have one other. We will have Midnight Dreams by Solitude Atyrnus as Justin comes in with a $5 donation. Hey Justin, how you doing, man? Good to see ya. Glad to see you here, man. Yeah, we're going to take a quick little break. And by the way, we just surpassed the $600 level. Wow. That's awesome, man. That is awesome. We did that here on day 7. That's a pretty good milestone. We are, as of right now, $62 away from somebody in chat walking away with a 1-month subscription to the Metalhead box, which means you get to see the box and see exactly everything that you get from it. You know, have it come to your door, hold it in your hands, cradle it in your arms, and of course, afterward, hopefully you'll decide, I want this. I want this for myself. Everywhere, all the time. Play some ads. Wonder if I could. The Dinkster, Shockmaster, best wrestler of all time. I agree. He is the best. He is the best. You are the worst. Can I actually? Oh wait, I think I actually can play an ad. We'll be back after these messages from whoever the fuck this is going to be.
Hello.
Welcome back. The break song right there was Solitude Aeternus, with their song Dream of Immortality. It's a band that you should know. It's a band that's been around for a while. It's a band that rules. It's Solitude Aeternus. How is the queue? Queue currently contains 3 songs. It contains Violence and Force by Exciter, which will be coming up next. We have a disco song after that, thanks to the lovely Maru, and then we have another Solitude Aeternus song coming. After whatever that was. that was sure a thing. Yeah. Wow. Okie dokie then. There we go.
Oh, teddy bear.
Alright. Home vids? Not so much. I wish. That would be, that'd make me pretty famous. Pretty popular on the YouTubes. On the YouTubes. Arion with Ride the Comet. I wonder who Waterblanc voted for whenever it came to the current poll. I wonder if he voted for Arion. Exciter with Violence and Force. That's what's coming next. This is from 1984. The year I was born. This song is as old as I am. Don't do the math. You'll learn things that are bad, like my age. €2.29. What was my first concert? Now, are we counting local shows? Because my first, well, actually, my first ever concert occurred whenever I was in, like, the 4th grade. And it was an old R&B group, an old doo-wop group, the Shirelles. But if we're talking first metal concert, that wasn't a local show. Iron Maiden, Motorhead, and Dio. $2.69, by the way, for that donation from Waterblanc. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it, man. So, yeah, got started pretty well, I would say. I'm old. Pop it up, Nemo. You enjoyed Candlemass yesterday? Yeah, it's probably yesterday. It was an insane show. I'm about 25? Yeah, we'll go with that. 25. I like it. Add 9 to it. Add a 9 to it. I'm 34. Ugh. I'm old, it sucks. Add a 9 to it. I am probably halfway to death. Awesome. Cheers to impending death in like 4 decades. Listen, Nemo, I don't care if you cough up all over that CD book. I just want you to be okay, dude. You're wondering who I'm talking to. My buddy Nemo's right up here. He's looking at the camera like, what are you doing? I don't want this. Please get that off of me. Andy is in the house. It has been a damned long time, dude. How you doing, brother? You're on the latter part of your life? Uh-oh. That means Maru is also in her early 30s. We've officially, we're over the hill now. Yeah, Dio died back in 2010. Florian, cheers to you, man. CKN Club for life. Thanks, brother. Too sweet, me, man. And have yourself a too sweet night. Work is kicking your ass. Yeah, aren't you currently, maybe I'm wrong about this, aren't you currently getting yourself back in shape for a role? Or in the middle of a project currently? I thought I saw a tweet or something that was mentioning that. It's good to see you, man. Yeah, you and Lurch both have been encountering some longer, harder days at work lately. I've noticed. Yes and no. Okay. Just trying to get yourself back into shape. Understandable. Never had a migraine? Yeah, they suck. They're horrible. I am more prone to stress and tension headaches, however, which are they are no friends of mine either. Believe me whenever I say that. They are no friends of mine either. And my mother is a chronic sufferer of migraine headaches and has been ever since she was 18 years old. So she has now, as of this year, reached her 50-year anniversary as a chronic migraine sufferer, which I'm sure is a... I'm sure that is a milestone that she wished not to achieve. But do I get it from caffeine? No. There's a better chance that I would get a headache from not having caffeine, to be perfectly frank. The only way that I get a caffeine-infused headache is if I have more caffeine than my usual day dose. You know what I mean? Like, if I go above and beyond the amount that I traditionally take in, then there's a possibility. But I'm pretty strict with how I handle caffeine. I'm pretty strict on how I handle that. So, and it's because of that very reason. It's because of that very reason. But yeah, most of the headaches I get are either tension or from weather changes. Weather changes. I do not do well with wild fluctuations of weather as far as physically is concerned. Whenever it comes to how, like, my reaction to it, like how I like it, it's a completely different story, you know? Because usually a big, wild fluctuation of weather pattern indicates that there's going to be some sort of large storm or some sort of large, there's going to be something interesting that's going to happen based off of that. And so I like that. That to me is pretty awesome. I'm a complete weather dweeb. And I am not afraid to admit that. You know what I mean? I'm not afraid to admit that whatsoever. I think that weather is really, really interesting. And I almost went to school for that. Looking back, I probably would have been... I'd be doing a lot better had I done that. You know what I mean? I'd probably be doing a lot better had I done that, as opposed to what I have done. Which was business. Dance Panique, which I'm sure means panic dance. But this is by Turman Catalut. This is Modern Disco, which, could be interesting. Could be interesting. I'm always down for something new. You know what I should honestly do? Every so often I should just drop an ad. Because after all, I'm seeing ads anyways, and as a result you're kind of seeing it too, which is just bleh. Taekwondo. Oh yeah, that's right, you do teach. You do teach. Or not disco at all. But, yeah, as I've grown older, especially as I've developed some of the physical issues that I have with my knees and such, it's just kind of meh, you know. It's not fun to experience sort of those residual effects from it, but at the same time, if you can't help it, you can't help it. Hi, Killian. Welcome back, dude. $7, by the way, from Justin, coming in hot. Wants to hear a little Electric Wizard. He wants to hear Wizard in Black from Electric Wizard. So we have some Solitude Eternus coming in after this. After this track here, then we have some Eterion, and then we'll have some Electric Wizard in. Thanks to Justin. Appreciate it, my man. We are getting closer and closer to that 666 mark. Alright, something about Cookie Monster. You're on to 150 new albums this year. My God. And you made the decision to listen to the new Theron. Oh, I don't know. I don't know, my friend. Oh. This is more like industrial. I'm pretty sure that was kind of just fun. That was just a little fun that was had. Andy, I'm sure that's 3 hours of your life that you maybe wish you had back. Turomon Ketalot. Which I'm sure I'm saying incorrectly because, you know... And you thought the Astonishing was overblown. Yeah. Yeah, they kind of went a little far. I was listening to some of the new Horrendous earlier today, and, you know, as far as death metal goes, those guys have made big strides. Like, they actually put forth a pretty damn mature album. So I'm pretty happy about that. Mario says, I have a twisted sense of humor. That's why you and I are good friends. That's why we work, my friend. I will say this, though. Some of the older Theron stuff, I don't know much about the band. I don't know a lot. But they were a band that was always featured on, like, Identity, compilations from Century Media, and a lot, like, basically any sort of compilation that I got during the first part of, like, the 2000s featured a track from them. I think they were even on Death Is Only the Beginning, volume 3 or 4, whichever one I have. Oh, excuse me. Some really cool stuff on those old compilations, man. I think I actually may have passed that compilation along to Justin. I actually forget if I did that or not. Theron? Yeah, they have been around for quite some time. I want to say since the 80s. 80s, early 90s. Not a metal opera. Yeah. That's one that I hear was supposed to be sort of taken in. It's not really meant for, like, continuous, like, one sitting consumption. That's what I heard. That's at least what I heard. I'm not sure if that's accurate. Because listen, I couldn't make it through that whole thing. I tried. I couldn't make it through that whole album. I attempted. It was, there's sometimes I just have to tap out. Sometimes I just have to tap out. And usually whenever that happens, the best thing for me to do in those situations is not to talk about the albums at all. You know? There are some albums where if you tap out or you want to tap out and you feel like you need to discuss why, then you can. I don't feel like I could really discuss why I tapped out to that one. It just wasn't really my cup of tea. I'm sure other people... In fact, I know a lot of folks like kind of really enjoyed that album, you know. So it's not something that's for everybody, but for those who enjoy that, they really liked it. So hey, that's cool. It was certainly ambitious. I'll give them that. Theron's always a band that's trying things that are somewhat ambitious, so they're not necessarily a static group. Yeah, they have 16 albums, I want to... Yep, 16 albums. Okay, Waterblock just confirmed. I said the number 16, then I looked at chat and saw Waterblock's comment was like, that's kind of weird that we both thought about that at the same time. I also feel kind of smart, because I don't know much about the band, but was able to guess the number of albums that they had. I still remember whenever all, like, there are a lot of folks around this area that during the late 2000s were into that whole, their goth phase. You know, in fact, one of my friends who lives in the same building as I do went through it as well, and I remember whenever they were all obsessed with the Phantom of the Opera by Nightwish. Like, that was their big deal. You know, and then meanwhile I'm telling them about the Phantom Opera Ghost by Iced Earth, and they're like, yeah, well, you heard this. And I was like, yeah, I've heard it too many times. Please, stop talking about it. You know? Because sometimes, even if you like a band and, you know, really appreciate their material, if you hear them talked about too much, you're just like, dude, shut up. There's like 75,000 other bands in existence. Please, get your nuts out of this one song and, you know, first of all, listen to the rest of Nightwish's material, because a lot of them weren't doing that, you know. They just were into that one song and then went back to listening to whatever crap was being spewed out by some garbage band, you know. Osthera. Yeah, we've had a couple of Osthera songs that I think you've recommended be played. They've been played on stream, and it's definitely the sort of the feeling I got from it as well. And new Nightwish Spring 2020. Yeah, I heard that they were taking a little bit of time, and they were going to work on some of their other projects for a bit, and kind of also recoup a bit, because I know that they've been going at it pretty heavily for a while, and of course there's been a lot of things going on. 2020 seems really fair for a new Nightwish disc. Although I will say that the timetable for their releases, there's been a lot, the gaps have been a lot longer. They've become kind of like Metallica in that regard a little bit, where the time... They're known... I feel like they're a band that is known a little bit more for their live shows, really. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think that their live spectacle is kind of more what draws people to them. Like, they're a band that you need to see if you have the opportunity. Wonder why Messiah has never collaborated with Arion? If I were to hazard a guess... I don't know. I actually couldn't hazard a guess, to be perfectly frank. BG, Blind Guardian? Oh, man. Listen, I'm waiting for... I'm not sure if you mean Blind Guardian by that, but if you do, I'm still waiting for the follow-up for Behind the Red Mirror, because that album was amazing. But, again, in a very truthful admittance, they do take time between albums. They do take some time between albums, so they're smart with that. They are pretty smart with that, so... I'll definitely give them that. I'll tell you, I'm still very much in longing for a new Solitude Aeternis album. The last one came out in 2006. I would just really like to hear more from the band. They had such a fast-paced first part of their career, where they were releasing albums almost like one a year. And then things got really kind of static. This track, Midnight Dreams, by the way, is off of their album from 1996, which is entitled Downfall. Really awesome album. That was whenever they were heading toward the tail end of their you know, real consistent portion of their career. Because after this, you'd have Adagio, and then we wouldn't get a new album from them for quite some time, not until 2006 with Alone. This is a doom metal band I know. I wouldn't necessarily say I know like everything about them, but I know a lot. You know, I like these guys a lot.
You think I don't know the difference between a wolf and a man?
Bela became a wolf, and you killed him. A werewolf can be killed only with a silver bullet, or a silver knife, or a stick with a silver handle.
Rhapsody's old stuff is bae. Rhapsody of Fire is still pretty good too, but yeah, I mean. Like, just about every era of that group has something to offer. Again, it's as I've said over the past couple of streams, I might not be the most knowledgeable person whenever it comes to power metal, but it's still fun to listen to. It is still a lot of fun to listen to from time to time. And we have found some really cool stuff. Some of the members of this chat have really unearthed some really cool moments of the power metal universe and has shared them with the world, to the point where we've even made like funny little videos about it and stuff. Nathan the Noob, I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing, man? Blind Guardian is just, they're timeless. And again, one thing that sets them, I think, apart from a lot of groups is the fact that they do take their time. They don't rush releases. Now, granted, they are afforded that opportunity by the fact that they have a great reputation, so their live shows are still going to be probably sold out. You know, they have the following. You know, folks will follow that band to the edge of time. Oh, God. Man, Rob Lowe is just awesome. His vocals are ridiculous. I love it. But we have this track, and then we have a little bit of Electric Wizard. You saw what I did there? Oh yeah. Wow, I did that completely. I didn't intend on doing that. It just sort of slipped out my mouth. That happens from time to time. That happens from time to time. Yeah, we have one song left on the queue, and then I don't know what's going to happen. We might have a shorter stream today to make up for the longer stream that we had yesterday. I intended on piecing at about 7 o'clock tonight anyway, which is in about 50 minutes, so might roll a bit that long. We might stop it a little bit early. I don't know. This is a weird day. This is kind of an odd day. You know what I mean? But maybe we'll get the queue back up and running a little bit. Get a couple more tracks on there. I mean, there's still like 15 songs, no less than that, on the all request stream for free queue. There's not a lot left. There is not a lot left whatsoever. Dragon Force is a terrible argument for power metal. I don't know. I don't know if I would necessarily call that a really bad argument. They might be not considered as traditional, you know? Not like you're gonna hear the words technical power metal thrown out there. I think Dragon Force has some really decent material. They're one of those bands that I bash pretty heavily, especially in the Worst Bands Not Named Justin Bieber video, where I call them just a Guitar Hero band. They're one of the bands that I kind of disliked at first and then grew to really respect. You know what I mean? Bloodbath, what's going on, man? First time I've seen that name in chat. Well, Delta Girl, I'll be the first to admit, aside from like some of their earliest material, I'm not a huge him fan. I'm not a huge him fan. That's just me, though. I mean, I would love it if I could be a fan of everything, but I'm just not. Killian coming in with Beast in Black with their self-titled track. Thanks very much, dude. Gotta get the old conversion calculator out again. That $2.30 drop. That $2.30 drop. I always thought him was a more commercial typo negative. They're meant to be kind of like a gothic band. I don't think they're really meant to be like typo negative in that regard. I do know that Vil Valo got a like cult attachment from like every spooky girl in America, and I think that one thing that really helped their popularity is they were friends with some of the guys from the Jackass crew. I think they're friends with Bam Margera, so they did have a little bit of help there. And you know, if you can, anytime you can get that rub, you know, a lot of people will sort of bash you for it. You know, folks are going to bash you for having that rub, but as far as a career is concerned, you know, whenever you're thinking about putting money in the bank and being successful as your, you know, as a band, you got to think about stuff like that. Wizard in Black by Electric Wizard up next. This was recommended by Justin. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it, man. You know what else I am? I'm kind of hungry. Unlike yesterday, I didn't eat before the stream. I'm a little hungry. You know, it happens. Not as hungry as I would have been yesterday.
You're all the same, the lot of you with your long hair and tight clothes. Drunk.
The song that you just heard, that was Solitude Aeternus. That was the song Midnight Dreams.
You make it easy.
Mango. I'll type it in chat. I must put Midnight Dreams. Had to take a snack break. I could do that. Looky what I have. I have Cheetos. These are not the flaming hot ones. These are just boring regular. What has more subgenres, metal or hip-hop? Metal. Mostly because people are just inventing stuff at this point. Like, it's become a parody of itself. Man, these are so boring, they have no bite to them whatsoever. They have no bite to them whatsoever. Oh well. They were free. Gotta go with those flaming hot ones, man. Flaming hots are amazing. Need just a little bit of bite with these. Flaming hot Cheetos, 100%. Yeah, free's an amazing price. The story of how I got these for free is pretty simple. The missus, well, the miss, should I say, we're not married, never will be, got those about a month ago, I guess for a break at work or something like that. Brought them home, never touched them again. So I saw them on, I'd seen these in the pantry for like weeks. And I said to myself, she doesn't touch those in like the next couple weeks, I'm just going to take them. Instead, last night we were talking about stuff and I said, you've had those Cheetos up there for like a month and you haven't touched them. And she's like, I have Cheetos up there? I was like, yeah. And she's like, oh, well, I don't want them. You can have them. I was like, oh, cool. Got Cheetos. The end. Yeah, I would say that, I mean, hip-hop heads may try to micro-dissect hip-hop music, but even whenever it comes to heavy metal, it's becoming really more and more silly to do that than it's really worth. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's to the point right now where you kind of need to go back to some of the basics. You know, there are a lot of bands that are aiming to include a lot of different sounds and have a very, very varied album or sound palette. So you're having a lot more people embrace more than just one static movement. And as a result, you might as well just call them hybrid metal or just call them heavy metal. Have that be the new traditional heavy metal or the new, like, heavy metal basic. That's kind of what it is. Maru coming in once again, I think. Yep, that's true. Knowing Me, Knowing You by MGT and Vil Vallo. I have a feeling that that is for Celtic Girl. I have a feeling that that track is in honor of Celtic Girl, which is very, very sweet. So thank you very much for that. That's awesome. Really, really cool. Yeah, as of right now, we have Beast in Black, and we have that track right there. See how things go from that. Well, we're going to have more than that. We're going to have some more than that. We have Justin Neely coming in once again with 3 bones, with 3 bills, with a $3 donation. He says, Meat Puppets, 2 Rivers. He's going back to a band that Nirvana covered that nobody knew. Famous story about Nirvana. Actually, it's a famous story about David Bowie. David Bowie once performed a concert, and he did a song, of course, a very well-known song, "The Man Who Sold the World." And there was a fan that, a supposed fan at least, that came up to David, and he said, "I just want to tell you how nice I think it is that you're covering Nirvana songs and really helping put them on the map." Celtic Girl, the Vil Vallo track was donated by Maru. Hi Alec, how you doing, man? Yeah, Man Who Sold the World was the covered song, and yeah, someone said to David how nice it was that he was covering a song by Nirvana. Meat Puppets, though, there have been a couple tracks that Nirvana covered from them, including Lake of Fire, as well as Plateau. You got your first bank account, now to get a job. Get to work, boy. Maru, Celtic Girl, M-A-R-U. Hey, Waterblunk, I'm forced every night to cuddle with these pythons. I gotta sleep with my pythons, I gotta eat with my pythons, I gotta take a shower with these pythons, I gotta, have personal alone time with my pythons, I have to talk them up nice. You're a really nice python, you're very, very nice. But you are too. Most predictable joke in history, right there. Your 8-year-old son cuddles with a 9-foot snake? That's what I'm talking about right there. That's metal as shit, man. And once I can get a job, you can actually donate and shit. Hey, man, it's not a requirement, but if you want to, that's up to you. Focus on helping yourself, my man. How many inches are my arms? Not very. Not very inches. They're not very big, man. Here's the thing, my upper body, whenever it comes to that, not very impressive. All of my strength comes in like the part of me that hurts the most, which is my legs. I have athletic legs. That's where I draw a multitude of my power from. Or a majority of my power, not a multitude. All of my power is derived from my lower half, which also, like I said, consequently hurts the most. But adrenaline is a fun thing. Adrenaline will make you pick up just about anything. Make you pick up a car if you don't break yourself first. Beast in Black with Beast in Black coming up next. And hey, this isn't the first time that we've actually played this in shot. Or in stream, should I say, not shot. Not chat. In stream. 1.6 million views. So, hey, Beast in Black, they're kind of known. People know who they are. They are a band that has some awareness. Partially because they were on Nuclear Blast Records whenever this was released. I think they still are. You don't have abs? Neither do I. I have a nice solid core of, I guess, jello. Like muscular jello down here. Doesn't matter how much I exercise, doesn't matter how many days a week I went to the gym. Nothing much is going to ever develop down there. I guess it's just something where I would have needed a whole... Like, I would have had to have focused on them for like 5 years and not focused on anything else. I'd have like the skinniest arms. I'd have a nice six-pack that like barely would form. That'd be that. Alcohol belly? No, it isn't anything like that. I haven't drank more than like once or twice a year for probably about 3 or 4 years. Man, I don't drink. I don't drink regularly at all. Did I at one point? Not even, really. Last time I would say I was a regular drinker would be college. And that's been 10 years ago at least. Maybe a little bit more. You know, I've drank on stream, I think like once, maybe twice. So, you know, what are you going to do? I'll tell you what probably stalls a lot of the process. He's right here. I do snack a bit. But I've gotten away from like the chocolate snacks and stuff. Although Reese's right now has their peanut butter pumpkins out, and I like those. Mostly because with peanut butter you get protein. See you later, Alec. Here's what I'm going. Toxic? That name sounds strangely familiar, but I'm going to have to say no at the moment. Good solid track from these boys. Get these last couple of songs in, and I think I will head out for the night. Like I said, a little bit of a shorter stream today. Oh, never mind. 3 songs. We have Glory Hammer with Universe on Fire by Waterblowing coming in. So that's a 268, or 269 rather. It's like more power metal. Hey man, thank you. I appreciate that, dude. Everybody in chat's really awesome. There is none of you that's less awesome than the others. Except for those guys that come in here and tell me I'm a loser. Those guys are great. Those guys are good for a laugh. Well, I guess ladies and gentlemen, someone I guess could be ladies. But none of them has ever come in and been like, yo, why do you even stream? Why do you do all this? You're ugly, you have a tiny dick, you know, your balls look like prunes that have dried up into raisins. We haven't gotten those yet. Mostly because I don't really think I've ever dated anybody that would do something like that. Like that would be that petty. If anybody would do that, it'd be probably like an ex-friend or somebody that's all hissy-pissy because I don't talk with them anymore. Something like that. What the hell? Ew. That right there is disgusting. What the hell is that? Some sort of gnarliness in my mouth. Get the next track up. knowing me, knowing you. MGT and Villavallo, knowing me, knowing you. Of course, this is an old ABBA song, isn't it? It's an old ABBA song. It's an old ABBA track. Grammarly.com sponsoring this ad. That I'm skipping. I like my bad grammar. Excuse me. Just ordered your ticket to see Elder next Tuesday. I despise you. Dude, have fun. Have a heck of a good time, man. You're going to have a great, great time, I'm sure. That makes me puke. Oh, ABBA. ABBA is lovely. I'm sure that if I expose this to, like, all those folks I was telling you about earlier that went through their little goth phase and were going nuts over the Phantom of the Opera being done by Nightwish and all that shit, if I exposed them to this, they'd be like... But of course, you know, they're all women, so they don't have that. Well, maybe some of them do. Can't judge, don't wanna. But, you know, femme boner, femme boner. No, I haven't gotten a chance to check out Holy Fawn yet, man. I did actually check out the new Horrendous album today, Cody, which you might actually really dig. If you're wondering about how to request a song Bloodbath, it's !request songs. So, !request songs, then Nightbot will tell you what you have to do. Nightbot will pop up and let you know what's got to happen. Because song requests happen via donation. That way you guys get something out of donating. And plus 30% of the donations is going to the Alzheimer's Foundation of America. Parents say you can't go to the gig on your own, so you say you're going with uni friends. Bruh. Just be careful, man. Regardless to how old you are, what your parents say, if you're going with friends or not, doesn't matter. Anytime you go anywhere, just be careful, be on guard, you know. Relax, obviously, and have a good time. But if something doesn't feel right, then, you know, don't ignore your body. Doing more for the donation than anything. Well, thank you very much, Killian, dude. I appreciate that. What song is this? This is Knowing Me, Knowing You by MGT and Villavallo. Of course, Vil is known for his time in him and his Infernal Majesty. This itself, Knowing Me, Knowing You, is an old ABBA song. They did a cover of it. Of course, this was also a song, Knowing Me, Knowing You, that was featured in Mamma Mia. Am I going to listen to Disturbed's new album? Yeah, I'll probably listen to it. That is almost a guarantee that I'll at least check it out. Mostly because I did the review on the last album, and I feel like it's only fair that I at least listen to this this new album and maybe consider a new, you know, an album review for it. His eyes are straight from God. Maybe. I totally thought that was a combination of, you know, genes from Mama and Dada Vallo. Papa Val and Mama Val. Which makes them sound like old lesbians. Probably the best way to, or probably the worst way to describe them. Hey, you know, pair of lesbians have themselves a kid. I bet you that kid's gonna be freaking cool as shit. All depending, you know. If you get two lesbians that are super political, that kid's gonna be messed up. It's it's going to be really messed up. Unless, of course, you know, the kid tempers them and makes them into just really solid, awesome parents, which should be the case. Really should be the case. Unfortunately, I don't think that I'm able to I wasn't able to post links on Instagram, so now I have people commenting their votes for the rank 'em all, and I can't do anything about that. Like, I can't, like, add votes to that whatsoever. So their votes are sadly going to probably go uncounted, which feels bad, man. I went to put meat for the meat part of Meat Puppets, and I put meta instead. Oy. Two Rivers by the Meat Puppets. Coming up next. I feel like this is a little bit newer. 2011, yeah. I'm not familiar with this track. I'm not familiar with this Meat Puppets track. So this will be pretty neat. You named your character on Vampire the Masquerade after Vil. There you go. But yeah, Maru with that pretty cool. I even have to say I really like that. Of course, like I said, I like a little ABBA, and I cannot say that Vil has a bad voice. I would say a lot of my, the whole package to me just wasn't all that great. You know, it wasn't for me. I don't know if I'm really the target market. I don't know if I was really the target market for him in their later years. I don't know if I was who they were going for anyway, so me not being as a part of that army is not going to exactly hurt them. It's not going to make them feel not going to make them feel bad, you know. Yo, Meat Puppets are a pretty creative band. Some pretty cool stuff going on with this group, and if you like what you hear with a band like the Pixies, if you like something like from the Pixies, this is a softer version, I would say, of a group like the Pixies. One that doesn't have to go too wild and crazy. Some more power metal. We have Powerwolf, Demons Are a Girl's Best Friend, requested by Andy, who has come out of the shadows today. He's come completely out of the shadows today to hang out with us. I appreciate that, man. That rules. I guess at the very, like the very best thing that I could do is that I could add those votes to the total, but I don't know how I could like represent that. So, you know, that's where kind of the weirdness gets in there. Andy, I'm really not used to you doing super chat, man. Like that's still like a really big mindfuck. That is a super large mindfuck, my dude. But thank you very much, man. Do you get fees whenever you do super chat? I'm kind of curious. I think I'm curious. Eson is definitely more focused on his solo stuff, I would say. That's his career now. Killian coming in with Spiritual Treason by Judicator with a $3 Canadian, which I think was, what, $260? I don't even remember. $230. PayPal is getting expensive. Are they starting to do fees over there? You know, I'll tell you what. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, these services, they could do things for free. They did these for free. A £2 charge. What? And yet, I can drop. I dropped Mango the cash prize, and I get no charge whatsoever. I get no sort of charge. None. I get no sort of fee. I don't have a business account either. Like, I don't have a business account. In fact, if I'm being real, if I were to make my account into a business account, there would be fees and stuff applied. So that means they're getting even more money. Wow. That is ridiculous. You think it's a UK thing? It sounds to me like Maru is also getting that as well. So that sounds like it might be like an EU thing, like a European Union thing, or just a generalized Euro thing. Jeez. Oh, a currency change fee? That could do it. That could... Even then, though, I mean, come on. Come on. You know, that almost... It would almost be easier in that case if you just put in, like, a certain amount in bulk and had them go ahead and convert it, take their little, like... And first of all, that fee should not be very big. Why do you even need to take that fee? You're an internationally accepted and, you know, really loved. They have plenty of money. They have plenty of money. They have That's disgusting. That disgusts me quite a bit. It does. It truly does. That disgusts me a little bit, and I'm very, very sorry if those of you who have been donating from the outside the United States have been encountering those fees. Really, it seems like no matter which way you go, that type of stuff is no longer able to be avoided. You know, you use Super Chat and you don't get the fees on your end, but the true amount that of the donation that will be available for either streamer or for charity is lower because YouTube takes a cut from that, or you use PayPal and you know, they force you into a much higher fee. Man, PayPal's pricing themselves into a corner there, and that's not a good thing. That is not a good thing. I wonder if some of that is because of how we look in the world that surrounds us. And it's all about money. Universe on Fire by Glory Hammer. We need to get back into the smiles, get back into some of the better things. Looking at these gyros from Arby's, I kind of don't want gyros. I don't know. They kind of don't look as good. It's cheaper to request several songs. Yeah, I agree. I actually agree with that. Just a little extra since the last pick was 6 minutes long. Killian, dude, thank you so much, man. You've been awesome today, man. I know that haven't seen you in a bit, but it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure to see you today, and I hope that you have the opportunity to come back and hang out with us again pretty soon. That's pretty awesome, man. I'll tell you the fun part. The fun part of my job will be after this, whenever I'm filling out all my spreadsheets and I'm going to have to do all these conversions again. It's going to rule. It's going to rule. And by that, I mean it's going to be probably a nightmare. That's okay. It's a nightmare that I'm willing to go through, especially now that I know what PayPal is doing to some of y'all. But honey, sweet young thing ain't sweet no mo. Justin, if you want to know who is a master of like 80s, 90s era bands that still are around that you probably don't know are still around, or just knowing that old stuff to begin with, Justin. His knowledge of that stuff is absurd and awesome, and he's got the collection to back it up. He's got the collection to back it up. Well, honestly, Mario for me, what it is that I put everything together in the natural, the natural like if it's pounds, I put it all together as a total accumulation of the pounds, and then I just do the conversion from there. It's easier to do it that way than trying to do things individually. So if I have to make a couple corrections to the total because of a little bit of an exchange difference or whatever, no big deal. No big deal. That's real simple to do. In most cases, whenever that stuff happens, it's a mistake that actually means that we're a little bit closer to things as opposed to further away. It's very seldom that I've ever had to make an adjustment that has set us back. You know what I mean? Yeah, we got some Power Wolf, we got some Spiritual Treason by Adjudicator, we have some Mud Honey, and I think that might do it for today's stream. Because like I said, I was going to be gone at around 7, so I'm going to cut things off for the moment. Tomorrow we will be coming back and doing it again, and I see a couple things. I see a couple possibilities for tomorrow. I really do. Really, it is not out of the realm of possibilities that we leave tomorrow handing out 2 incentives. I think we definitely hand out the 1-month Metalhead Box subscription, but you guys have been so darn generous over these last couple of days, I don't want to rule out the possibility that we make it all the way to the $25 Hell's Headbangers gift card. And then at that point, then is the road to Bad Song Stream 2 at $1,000. Like I said, the level that I wondered if we could make it to, I think like the true stretch goal is actually that $1,500 limit, that 15 videos for 15 fans. But I think realistically speaking, if we make it to Bad Song Stream 2 and we're heading toward the Olinda Vidium and Sanis Lulu playthrough, that'll be a success. That'll be a big success. There you go. That's some Glory Hammer. Time for some Power Wolf. I'll tell you who is missing from today. That if he's on board, if we see him again, he's going to be making a big time splash for sure. Is Akon, Andrew. Well, one of the Andrews. Demons Are a Girl's Best Friend by Power Wolf. New Amsterdam Spirits. Little 6-second ad that nobody cares about. But yeah, Akon hasn't been here. Wasn't here today. He was here yesterday, and he went on a spree yesterday. Do I remember your name? It's Marion, correct? Marion? Crap. Yeah, Svetlana is drinking, for sure. Marlon Marion. Blup. Yeah, Wobbin has been, Wobbin moved and he started some university classes. Train Sonic. I remember you. Yeah, Svetlana's a really nice chick. She's a really nice girl. She's got herself a boyfriend now, though, so she spends all her time with us. Looking at me, he might get a little jealous, or, might confirm that, he's got bigger muscles and maybe a bigger dick. I don't know. Definitely confirmed that he probably has more hair, but come on now. That's easy. Yeah, Wobbin has been a pretty busy boy. I haven't even seen him that often on Twitter, so yeah. That's okay. Wobbin is always with us in spirit and in love because, and he'll definitely be popping in from time to time, I'm sure, once hockey season begins to taunt or, hang his head in shame because the Panthers are sucking. Although I think the Panthers will, Panthers are probably going to be alright this season. I don't know if they're going to have some of the runs that they had last season, but, you know. But Black Metal Boyfriend sounds like a sitcom, probably should be. It'd be a sitcom I'd watch. I remember whenever we were talking, whenever you were first really concerned about listening to this album. And I think I brought up some concerns too. And, it's good stuff. I don't know, Powerwolf was just a fun band. Your team will probably kick the Panthers in the first round of the playoffs. I'm going to take a wild guess, Killian. Canadians. I did listen to this album. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really good. It was fun. Like, I was expecting to be like, well, this is like a 19, you know. It's fun. Oh, Maple Leafs. That would have been my second guess. Dang. It ended up being like a 22. Like, I don't know if it's going to make like a top 40 list. Or if it does, it's going to be like kind of on the low side of it. But still, doesn't matter. It's still going to be a lot of fun to see where it ends up. And you know what? Sometimes that's all you need. You don't need a band. You don't need an album that's going to like break the rating scale. There's a good chance that a couple years down the line we'll revisit this album every so often, and that's all it needed to do. Because then, as we go even further into our lives, we'll think to ourselves, man, remember that Powerwolf album from 2018? You know, if we're not in the middle of trying to listen to 400 albums released in the year 2027. Judicator with Spiritual Treason up next. God damn it, Fandango. I don't care about Night School. Nobody cares about Night School. This was a horrible decision by Kevin Hart. Remember, guys, as a Pittsburgh Penguins fan, it's not my fault that we make it to the, you know, conference finals again. It's not my fault. It's just the fact that we're better than him. No, I'm kidding. No, hockey season's going to be really fun. I'm by no means like a super elitist whenever it comes to that, but it's always fun to talk with other hockey fans because we just we just kind of have a blast with it. And one thing that wait, did I end up getting that? Wait a minute. Holy shit, wait a second. I can't bring that up. Did I buy that? I don't know if I bought it or not. Oh, shit. Oh, excuse me. Huh? What about we review St. Anger for the 1000th time? Why? No, really, no point for that. I think I actually got, like, Franchise Hockey Manager 3 during a sale for like next to nothing. And if I did, then we might have to do some sort of fun like little gaming thing with that. Oh yeah, hockey fans we have fun. And the thing is that if we like kick the shit out of each other every so often for fun, chances are by the end of that fight it ends up looking like a scripted WWE match. Alright, Necro, you have yourself a good one, man. Enjoy yourself whenever you go see Elder, dude. I am still an exceptionally jealous boy, but I will get over myself because I'm not on stream whenever I cry myself to sleep. Anyway, Demons and Wizards are touring again. There could be a new album. Demons and Wizards are going to be the headliners of Prague Power 2019, Andy, and I really want to go, but I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. I don't think we'll be able to raise the money for the tickets in time. Because they're putting the tickets on sale to the general public on October the 6th. And, well, let's just say that on Monday I had to drop a surprise $200 on a vet bill. So, you know, those little surprises. Also, it doesn't exactly help that I'm kind of owed like quite a bit of money from Miss CKN whenever it comes to, like, because we usually go Dutch on bills and stuff like that because we're both on kind of a very fixed income. And yeah, someone's not been paying me. Dude, that would be even worse for you though, Andy, because you'd have to pay for the flight and all that. So you'd have like probably like close to it. That how much would a flight be from the UK to America? Like, is this something that can be done for like $500 these days, or is it still close to $1,000? I have not looked into international flights in so long because I've not even thought about leaving the country in so many years because I figured it would just not only break the bank, but it would also, like, the hammer would just come after my nuts afterward. How do I have the song ready? What you do is that you just tell me the name of the song and who is the artist. And before you donate, make sure it is a song that is on YouTube. So I just look it up on YouTube and just play it there. That's all I do. 600 pounds? Your cousin in Liverpool paid like 500 quid? That's not bad. That's actually not bad. I wouldn't have to worry about that because it's right here in, you know, Prague Power USA is right here in, I would just have to worry about getting to Atlanta. And in reality, I could drive it, but it would probably be a wiser choice to fly. And the funny thing is that if I even, you know, what would be really hilarious would be if I took one of those flights that had like 2 different layovers. Like, so I have a cheap option of like $180 or something like that, and I end up in like Nebraska and then like Minneapolis, Maine, and then all of a sudden I end up in Atlanta. You know, I'm on like planes for 15 hours. That'd be, I think that's so dumb. I think it's really dumb that you have to get on like 3 or 4 different planes like that for a cheaper price, when in reality, you're getting more use of the product, which is flying. That make a lot of sense to me. Go ahead and cough it up, Demo. I don't care if it's on my desk. I just want you feeling good, bud. I want you feeling better. He's had hairballs that have not been coming out. He finally had one come out earlier this morning. So I'm keeping a close eye on him. So the actual donation is done the previous day? No, whenever you donate, there should be, if you're using PayPal, there should be a way that you can leave a comment, and then you leave the comment with your with the band that you with the band and then the artist, and then I get that. You know, there's a couple minutes delay. If you use Super Chat, they give you like 35 to 50 characters or like 100 characters, and then you put the comment there. So yeah, nothing is done like the day before or anything like that. Everything is done day of. That's why I'm sticking around a little bit later today, because I want to get through the entire queue. Because a while back, I was holding things off until the next stream or the next day, and that got to be kind of a pain, because what happened was, I will not play a song that has been donated for unless that person is in chat. You know, because I want you to see that your donation, like your hard-earned money that you gave to the channel, that you're getting the song that you requested. And that gets to be a little difficult because sometimes life happens and folks haven't been able to come back for quite some time. Now, I keep a record of everything. Don't get me wrong. I keep a record of everything. So it's very seldom that we miss something. But I have had instances in the past where somebody has donated for things after the cutoff, you know. Maybe they didn't know the cutoff was happening. And I told them, hey, you know, you're going to be back here tomorrow, or you're going to be back here Friday, or whatever the day of the next stream is. They say yes, and then they end up not being here. You know, they don't show up. You recently showed somebody Daydream 11. Well, that is the correct response, to have it on repeat for at least like a week. One final cut for today, one final track, and that's from Mudhoney. And the track that we're going to get, Sweet Young Thing, Ain't Sweet No More. This is... Oh boy. This is a track. This is certainly a song from a band that has released music in the past. And right now you're not hearing anything because I've avoided the single parents ad for like the 7th time today. ABC, funny. Yeah, their whole entire lineup is hilarious. And by that I mean it looks terrible. This is off an album called Super Fuzz Big Muff. This is old school. This is real old. But yeah, this is going to be it. This is going to do it for me today. You see the dollar sign right there in front of you? Then you probably can, because I know I'm able to on my... I know that I'm able to super chat on my mobile, on my cell phone, which I'll probably never use, because all the other people that I watch on streams are all on Twitch. That's why I really want to make the jump. But anyway, that's going to do it for me. I am out of here. I want to make sure that this song gets completely played, though. I want to thank everybody who has been in chat today, who has donated, as I always do. End of the stream today is brought to you by Mudhoney. It's brought to you not by single parents and the entirety of the ABC Fall Comedy lineup. It's brought to you by Hockey Season, which is coming really, really soon, first part of October. It's brought to you by laughing at NBA fans who thinks that this season's going to be interesting just because LeBron James went to LA. And it's also brought to you by good old-fashioned Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat, which is funny because I can buy it in a store here in Pennsylvania, and it still feels like a treat, so I don't see why San Francisco has exclusive rights to damn rice. So I'm liberating Rice-A-Roni. Rice-A-Roni, the world treat. If you find some Rice-A-Roni today, do get it and claim it for yourself. And use the hashtag #TheWorldTreat. And it's also brought to you by, finally, it's brought to you by Absolute Nonsense, which is pretty much what I spout every day, on a regular basis, forever. I don't know, Waterblanc. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm wondering and thinking that I'm going to have to rig a way up where I hear Lulu and Alida Vinim and Sanis and you guys hear, like, good stuff. Hey, man, great to catch up with you too, Andy. You guys are awesome. Everybody, love you all. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Same Cover Killer and same CKN Club. For life, everybody. Take care. And bye-bye.